Reuben retread from the Clinton administration, the former president of the New York Federal Reserve Bank. Change? How about Larry Summers, the former Clinton Secretary of the Treasury? And look what, I mean, I've been around a long time. I never remember the president bringing in basically the nationals from the last administration from another party.
So you don't think Obama's different in any way?
By their deeds you shall know them. If I bring in a hitter that strikes out every time and I want him to play in the World Series, is he going to hit the ball over the fence? They brought in Larry Summers, Timothy Geithner. Look at the crew. Look who they are. They're strikeout artists, every one of them. The only thing that they know how to do is not to get their fingernails dirty.
There was a sentence in your report that really caught my attention. You wrote, on 9/11, those who listened to the authorities and returned to their offices went down with the towers. So are you saying that Americans should not be listening to the officials that are saying these stimulus plans are going to make everything better? Is that the analogy there?
Read my lips, no new taxes. I didn't have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. I smoked, but I didn't inhale. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to... Why would anybody believe these people?
So what are Americans supposed to do if they're not supposed to trust their leaders?
Personally, I buy gold. And we've been talking about gold since the Trends Journal's 2001. We pegged the bottom. We said it would start going up at 275. Number two, you don't spend a dime you don't need to spend.
What would be the good jobs to benefit from in this year?
Anything having to do with health. Anything. It's going to be a growth. A lot of them aren't going to pay a lot of money in that field because a lot of it's going to be elder care. And the other thing really is anything having to do with conservation engineers. Anything that's going to prove technologically to save money and to make money.
What about geopolitics? What trends are we going to see in terms of the relationship between the United States and the rest of the world?
Well, the rest of the world is very hopeful with the, using the word hope, with the Obama administration. And again, we're going to have to see what transpires. But so far, and again, by their deeds, when he first started to run, he was going to be out of Iraq. As soon as he became president, he was going to start bringing soldiers home. And now that's out to 16 months. And now there are reports they're going to bring upwards to 40,000 more troops into Afghanistan. So it doesn't look like, and he's also talking about preemptive strikes into Pakistan. So it really doesn't look like there's going to be much of a smoothing of geopolitical relations. The one factor we're looking at a time that it could not be the worst time for this to happen is what's going on in the Middle East and the Israel-Gaza war. If, as they said they were trying to come out, if they attack Iran at any level, it will be World War III. Because if this war spreads beyond Gaza, it's going to inflame the Middle East. It can cause an oil crisis, as we saw in 1973. That's what ended the Arab-Israeli war when they embargoed oil going into the U.S. That's our major concern. We're also seeing, and we're going to wonder, if Obama continues with putting a so-called missile defense shield in Poland and the Czech Republic and Eastern Europe, and if they keep pushing more and more into Georgia. If that keeps happening, we're going to see a reignition of the Cold War.
You have been trend casting since 1980, more than 2 decades. How do you compile your information, and why do you believe you've been so spot on most of the time?
Current events form future trends. You can see what's going on. The great scholar von Schiller said, "In today already walks tomorrow." So we say current events form future trends. But when people look at the trends, they color them or shade them with their own ideology, their own belief. It's what they want, what they hope for, what they wish for. I'm a political atheist. I look at things for the way they are, not the way I want them to be. I don't color them or try to change them because of an ideology. The other major factor that we do differently at the Trends Research Institute than anywhere else is we look at over 300 different categories on a global basis. So when we're looking at economics, we're looking at politics. We're looking at changes in the family. We're looking at geopolitics. We're making connections between different fields continually.
How can America get out of this situation?
All you have to do is to look back to the 1990s when America entered into a recession. We had 7.2 unemployment rate in 1993. What got us out of the 90s recession was something called the Internet Revolution. It was a productive capacity. Products were invented, designed, manufactured, marketed, and serviced. So you're asking about new jobs, anything in alternative energies, anything that's going to advance us into the 21st century in an intelligent way. That's where the job opportunities are going to be.
Gerald Celente, founder of the Trends Research Institute, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Big brother is watching and he likes what he sees. A war for the taking.